You want to say what? You want to say what? We're live, dickhead. Hey, everybody. It's Brian Redgrave here with 3 guests here today, and we're going to do our top 5 Resident Evil games of all time. Introducing Victor, also known as Kratos God Slayer.
What's going on, guys?
Gabe, also known as Frank Castle 69.
What it look like,
And
people?
Ashe Williams.
Hail to the king, baby.
How are y'all doing today, guys?
You know
Doing
what?
great.
The setting would be much better. Blacking out for a minute live, people. Hold on. I can still hear you all. Boom.
Just so you know, I'm doing groovy.
That was the whole point of the pre-ready before. Good job, Gabe.
Yeah, changing settings, sir.
Yeah, that was the whole point. We were sitting here for the longest of time. You decided
up. Shut
to
the
do
fuck
it
up.
the moment we go live.
So what? Everybody's got their
so
solo act.
uncivilized.
Victor,
How dare
I see
you,
you
sir.
with your Resident Evil shirt.
Oh yes, that's hype about this. One of the greatest franchises out there.
I gotta say, the village looks so good. That game looks so fucking good.
I mean, some would say, like Gabe, they're going up the rails with the vampires and werewolves.
Hold
Oh,
on a
sure.
second. From what I've seen and the interviews that I've been able to watch, they do say that all the stuff in the game falls within the lore, as far as I know.
Direct sequel to 7, part of the timeline.
Yeah, so it does fall within the parameters of normal Resident Evil stuff somehow, and it'll be explained in the game, is what they said. That's the
Dave,
spoiler-free
you- 'cause
version.
You work with Capcom, do you not? Or
What
are you exclusive to Konami?
the fuck? All I did was watch some videos. Fuck you.
Well, in preparation of Resident Evil 8 Village, we're going to name our top 5 Resident Evil games. You all got your list ready, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Right in
All right,
here.
Ash, why don't we start with you?
Starting
Oh.
from least to favorite.
Least of it. Just say
Wow.
number 5, and then once you say your number 5, say why, and then we'll go to somebody else's number 5 and so on. So, Ash, you have the honor to go first. What is
Wow.
number 5 in your list of Resident
Well,
Evil?
first of all, hail to the king. Thank you very much. Number 2, I'm gonna have to say Resident Evil 5, right at number 5. I mean, and it's simple. I mean, the story's solid, but it goes on forever, and it's super convoluted. And Chris punches a rock, so
That's
You
an
know.
interesting pick. It caught me
Yeah,
off
that-
guard with that one.
Yo,
It
listen.
caught me off guard completely.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that one.
I know, and I know you guys weren't expecting it, but it's the truth. Resident Evil 5 is a great game, and it's definitely my top 5. But it has a bunch of glaring problems. You know, like I said, the convoluted story and the rock punching.
So,
What the
Agree
what
with
fuck?
makes you
that.
love
Chris-
it?
Wait,
What
that's
makes
the
you love
best.
it
That's
that
the
it is
best
the number
character model
5?
of Chris that I've ever seen in any of the games.
I mean,
Oh,
of
it
course
is.
it is.
But
Yeah,
my God,
graphically
just
speaking,
the
yeah,
the
for
boulder
sure.
punching was by far like the
most
Like,
bullshit.
OP of OP.
yeah.
Oh my God, he went full fucking Captain America. Like,
Some bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. He didn't break his knuckles. He didn't even scratch him. Nothing.
Diablo. All that you heard
And
was him
let's
grunting.
all bring up the fact that he punched the boulder multiple times. Multiple times.
As hard
So
as he
Ash,
could.
what do you love
Yeah.
about that game that it makes it to your top 5? I mean,
First
a
of all,
lot of
the
people consider
game.
that game one of the first games that made the franchise go downhill. So why is it on your number
Look,
5?
hold on. Listen, I love the gameplay. I love the DLC, Lost in Nightmares. That was amazing. That's fan service at its best, in my opinion. I love the Mercenaries mode. I sent you that picture earlier. We fucking double S that shit in one try. Fucking, what is it? Public Assembly is the name of the map.
Yeah, that's that
We-
best map.
We beat the fuck out of that map in one try. And Mercenaries mode, and like I think that shit is amazing. I think the versus mode was actually really fun, even though A lot of people didn't like it. I liked it. It is what it is. That's my top 5.
All right, Victor, what is number 5 for you?
I figured this is how he was going to do this. This is good. This is good.
Resident Evil 0.
Yes.
Oh, that is unexpected. I didn't expect
Yes.
this.
Wow.
Go ahead, go.
A very underrated
Really?
game.
Very underrated game.
Yes.
This game,
Why?
if a lot of people don't remember, was originally going to come out for the 64, but it was scratched to go on the GameCube.
That is true. Yes, that is true, and I do remember that.
Just the backstory leading up to number 1 was so awesome. It's a shame that we don't see Billy in any other game because nobody really knows what happens to him. He's never seen or heard from again.
I thought it was great.
Yes,
No, yeah.
that game was
Really?
awesome. Loved it. Rebecca, the fact that he played with Rebecca, you know.
Yeah, Resident Evil 0 is still to this day the last Resident Evil game to play that old school style.
The old tank.
Yeah.
Ah, and it introduced the first the first team play.
Yes, with the
switching.
Partner zapping, is that what they called it?
Yeah.
And you could, and this one you could drop items instead of putting them in the item box.
Which was annoying.
That was
annoying.
a godsend and a bad thing at the same time.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
It was good because you could drop it anywhere, but it sucked because then you have to go to that specific
all the way back to
location.
go get it.
Look, it's great that you guys bring this up because Resident Evil 0 is fucking weird to me in terms of gameplay. Like, it still played old school, you know, with the camera or whatever, but man, the switching was fucking weird, having to do 2 separate things at the same time and then dropping your items everywhere. That was a pain in the ass. It really was, especially when you were doing that. What was that Leeches mini game?
Yes, the Leech one.
Yo, Jesus, yeah, Leech Hunter. Yeah, holy
that
shit,
mini game is dope. I don't care. Yeah,
it's dope. I'm not arguing that. It just was hard as fuck.
Well, fun fact for me, Resident Evil 0 holds a special place in my heart because it was actually the first Resident Evil game I ever played.
Wow.
Yes. My mom, growing up, wouldn't let me play no rated M games when I was really
I remember
little.
that. I do remember that.
I remember, you know, the video store where you used to rent games and movies, for those of you who don't know what that is.
Yeah, Blockbuster.
I remember we went and there was no rated E, rated T game for anything. And I
look how
Resident Evil 0.
I am that I wrote down one of the puzzles and I still have it folded up inside the game. The combination.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys remember.
Wow.
It's with the deer, wolf, horse, lion, snake, eagle statue.
Bro!
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
Hey, this was before internet and stuff like that. You had to be, you had to think.
That's a testament to how old me and Victor are.
Look, I still put it in my game case, and that's where it stays. I never got rid of it, and it'll always stay in there.
It's like Mortal Kombat. Back in the day, you had to write the fatalities down on a piece of paper.
Yeah, that's
down, up. The blood code for Sega Genesis. Down, up, left, A, right, down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Onimusha, you know that fucking water puzzle? I don't know if you remember that. I wrote it down. The fucking.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, when fucking Samanosuke is about to get fucking drowned.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I would love to play that again.
That one I wrote down. That was hard. That was really hard.
Like a brand new game to me again. The Onimusha series. I'd like to play that again.
That's another Capcom IP we'll talk about another day.
A little bit of a taste for your fans.
We played a lot of shit, man.
So, since you played so much, what is your number 5?
Oh, shit. Well, I thought this one out. Look, listen. I thought this one out real good. Ready for this one? 1996, PlayStation X, Resident Evil Director's Cut. Now, I would say Resident Evil, the basic one, but Director's Cut gave us one little feature that the other one didn't have. They were both the same title, but advanced mode allowed auto aim. That was the implement of auto aim to the game.
Yeah,
the original. True. I had bought the original. Now, this is how old I am, ladies and gentlemen. 12 years old, I bought the original joint. It had no auto aim. And with that camera setting where everything is hiding off screen, it's really hard to get a bead on a zombie that's zigzagging. So director's cut, thankfully for them, they thought about that for a second, said, all right, yeah, cool. We'll go ahead and as soon as you hit the aim, it'll aim at whatever's on the screen. That was the best part about that. But the main reason why I picked that as number 5 and why it wouldn't go anywhere else on the list is because without this game, we wouldn't be talking about any other Resident Evil games.
Wow.
Very
I'm not gonna lie, that's very very good. That's a very good pick. Very good pick.
I'm gonna be honest, I was not expecting that to be in anybody's top 5 because I would have thought somebody would have dropped the remake on the GameCube instead. But
wow.
That might be higher.
Right, you're going to be very surprised by my number 1. I promise you that. You're going to be super surprised.
That's why don't guess on people's list because you don't know.
No, that's good. Like I was not expecting Ashe to drop 5, Victor to drop 0, and for you to go original with director's cut.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm about to drop the ball in something you guys probably can't even predict. My number 5. You ready?
You ready?
It's the Resident Evil 3 remake.
Wow.
Wow.
After I played that game last year 9 times, I replayed this game last week, literally last week, because I'm like, I need to know if I want this game in my top 5. I need to know. And I did. Listen, even though the game is fucking short as hell, and it did cut a lot of stuff from the original, the gameplay is fucking amazing. Like, the gameplay is, I love the gameplay of that game. Without a doubt, I fucking love it. On top of that, because of how short the game is, it makes it very replayable because whatever points you get, because you get points quickly because of how short the game is, you start getting infinite guns and the flaming knife and all this shit really fast. And you keep playing, and every time you play, it's a different experience, especially when you play a nightmare difficulty, which takes the whole game and just swaps everything around.
No fair point.
Love the Jill in that game. The Nemesis, yeah, there was changes that I don't agree with, but there were some changes that I do agree with. Some of the Nemesis' new design, his final look, instead of having tentacles coming out of him, he actually looked like a different monster when he transformed. So yeah, there was some stuff that they changed that I wish they didn't, but some of the changes were actually really dope, including that new zombie they had to connect it to part 4. So yeah, I know nobody was expecting that. I literally replayed this game like a couple of days ago because I wanted to make sure I was right about putting it here. And after playing it, yeah, the Resident Evil 3 remake is number 5.
Wow. What a pick.
Unexpected.
I was teetering on that one, but I was like, no, I couldn't pick it.
I had to, man. I played it again just to make sure that's what I wanted. And after playing it again for the 10th time, I'm like, yep, it's number 5.
Man, you're about to be blown away by my number 4.
All right, so Ashe started last time, so Victor, you start us with number 4.
Number 4.
I like how he has the
right. Yeah, I know, right? He's prepared.
This one, I got to give a shout out to Gabe because Frank Kastle actually got me this one. Code Veronica X. Yes. Code Veronica X.
Yes, sir.
Gabe bought me this long time ago.
Can I just say that game,
moons ago,
growing up, that game was hard as fuck for me. Like, that game was hard.
Everybody remember originally on the
Listen, it had one of the best stories and one of the worst control schemes on earth.
Originally on the Dreamcast,
so great.
And then it got ported to the PS2 and GameCube and everywhere else. Love that game. It's probably the real follow-up to Resident Evil 2.
Without question.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I do agree with that.
Without question.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
that's
it
2.5.
It was an amazing game. I love it. The fact that this game is not getting a remake and 4 is like it's such a low blow because this game really deserves it. This game is so underrated.
It brought Wesker back into the fold.
Yeah.
Yo, the fight between Wesker and Alexia. Oh
Yeah,
my
that was a
god, that
great
fight
fight.
was fucking awesome. That
Great fight.
I'd
really
hardly call
was.
that a fight. That just showed
I mean,
how insignificant even a guy like Wesker was to that girl.
yeah, I mean, seriously, they had to blow her up with like a special rocket launcher or something like that. I forget
Lanier.
what the
The
hell it was
linear
called.
launcher.
Yeah,
The linear
the
launcher.
linear launcher. Holy shit, that shit was crazy.
We all
I
remember the
remember
linear
that.
launcher.
So
You remember
And
that
how
was
the
pointless
double
it
pistol
was.
machine gun things too that
Yo,
you would get?
how fucking pointless it was for Chris to go back to that fucking island so you can do all the same shit you did with Claire in reverse.
Yo, dead
yeah,
ass.
some areas were
That
blocked
shit was
off, but
dumb.
yeah.
The fucking stage was in
Yeah.
reverse. It's like
Considering that
Castlevania
number
turning.
four,
Yo, it's
what
like
was
Castlevania
your
turning
favorite
upside
thing
down.
about that game, Victor?
Yo, hold
What was
on.
that?
That was amazing in Symphony of the Night. Don't knock it out. Dude, come on, man. Don't knock on
Since
that.
it's your number four, what was your favorite thing about Code Veronica? Let me ask you that. Did he
Victor?
freeze?
It was
Frozen.
amazing because Chris was absent for so long, and then when he appeared, I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
Fucking
and
Chris
it's Chris,
Redfield.
and it's Chris and Claire.
And then obviously we went
That's
from
right,
the skinny
siblings.
Chris, and then he went to the gym and just bulked up. So we see the transformation happen. He must have been training with The Rock because my God, he got huge.
Yo, for real, for real.
Yo, he really
When I
did.
seen him in five, I
Yo,
was
for
like,
real.
"Good God!"
The Rock, as a
He ate
wrestler back
well,
in the day,
too.
it's original Chris, and The Rock now is like current Chris. Well, RE5 Chris.
What the
Yeah, but that
fuck?
was definitely my number 4.
All right, Ash. Well, back to you. What's your number 4?
You guys are about to be blown away by this.
Maybe.
Resident Evil Dead Aim.
What? Wow!
I love that
That's
game.
just out of left
Anybody
field.
hearing the crickets besides me?
I
That
fucking
ain't-
love
I'll be
it.
honest.
Hold on a
When
second.
I
Let me
played that game,
explain.
I thought that game was garbage.
Hold on a second.
But go ahead,
I
explain
played it
yourself,
young.
please.
I played it young, and it was hard as hell because the fucking controls are total wonk shit. But I appreciated it. Was almost like a comedic, take on the Resident Evil series, and I enjoy playing it just because of that. I don't know. I know it's one of those things that everybody's gonna be like, "What the fuck? That game was horrible," and it really was. But it was like fun to play because it's comedically bad.
So, a
Like
game that
sometimes
you
the
just
fucking
said.
dude, the zombies would float when you kill them out of nowhere. Sometimes, like
Wow.
some weird shit would happen in that game. I thought it was fun just to play because of that. I don't know. That's just a me thing.
I don't even
I'll
know
be
what
honest
to
with
say.
you. Yeah, I can't even comment on that game because I don't even think I ever even tried it
I
because of the
played it one
controls.
time. I
Really?
played it one time. To me, it was trash.
I beat the game.
You
I
played it?
played it all. I played it all the way through.
Gabe, did you play it?
No.
No.
Wow, that's crazy. None of you
That's
ever
one that
even
didn't
finished
even.
it.
When I looked at it, when I initially saw stills for it in the Game Informer magazines, I was like, no.
No, thank you.
No. Don't cake off on the Resident Evil name. I hardly call it Resident Evil at all.
I don't know.
I guess it's on the list because it has the name, but it was not hardly.
Listen, this is our top 5 favorite Resident Evil. It doesn't have to be canon games.
Fair
It could be
enough.
anything.
That's
It could be
fair.
anything.
I'm just
We're not,
saying.
we're not ranking the canon game. It's top 5. Whatever if it's a Resident Evil game, you can do it in this list.
You're right. You're right. I'm not knocking anybody's shit, but you asked me if I played it. I said nope. It did when initially I seen it and its release date and stuff. It's like
I understand the
Gabe,
skepticism on it. I
what's
really
your
do.
number 4?
All right, this was difficult to put it here, but I'm gonna go ahead and go out with the Outbreak series, Resident Evil Outbreak. Why? Well,
1 or 2. You can only pick one. No, fuck that.
wait, no, hey, whoa.
They're
Because
connected,
those
Brian.
are
You can't
files,
really
yo.
say,
That's
yeah,
not
file
fair.
2 is
That is
connected
not
to 1.
fair. No way.
Yeah,
That's
you
why I said
actually
the
can't
Outbreak
really do
series.
that.
because even though they were side quests, it had all the same people in it, and it took place all at the same time, and it's all canon to itself. So
Gabe
we're not even
right
going to debate
on that one.
Yeah, we're not debating that.
Yeah,
but anyway, the reason why it was special for me is because it was something different on PlayStation 2. I mean, we had played the Resident Evils prior to that. We had beat the shit out of Resident Evil 2, which will probably be discussed later on in somebody's list, I'm sure. 3, the original, with the original Nemesis in it, not naming the remake. That's probably going to be in somebody's list somewhere down the line too.
Gonna grab some tea. Hold on.
And then PlayStation 2 came out. They had a bunch of characters, civilians, regular old civilians in Raccoon City at the time of the pinnacle of the outbreak.
For the record, I can't see you. The camera up a little bit more. Yeah,
Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, but I had to put that on the list because it was a difference. It still gave me that same Resident Evil feel, but it had different gameplay, different schemes, and the files in the outbreak and the side quest, more to the lore. Adding more to the lore was better. So
that's a good pick. That's a good pick.
I mean,
I played the fuck
and
out
I like
of
Kevin Ryman. I think he was the bootleg Leon. I'd like to see him in another game because that pop shot shit with his Magnum. That's just fat.
I always use that Japanese chick. What was her name? Like Yoko or something like that.
And the Alyssa, the reporter. She also had
the reporter.
She was dope too.
Like
she could pick locks good.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Yoko, she could carry a ton of shit, and she was also able to mix plants because she's actually part of the lore.
That made
she's the scientist. She works for Umbrella. Spoiler.
Before I say my number 4, I have to go into story time here quick.
Story time.
Victor knows what's
Should
coming.
I play
So I want to go to the story because of it's about outbreak. Ain't that right, Victor?
Oh, did that make the list as 4 too?
No, it's not in my list. Yeah, I haven't set number 4 yet, but I bought Outbreak 1 at Microplay. I never played Outbreak, so I'm like, I seen it, I bought it, I played it, I loved it. The day I bought it, I didn't have the money to buy part 2 as well. So I went, took it, I hid it somewhere else, far away into a different area. So then one day, a friend of mine, you guys know him, Kratos Godslayer, told me I bought Resident Evil Outbreak File 2 on Microplay. It was hidden. I had to ask the guy. And I'm like, yeah, it was hidden. I'm the one who hid it because I didn't have the money. And he's just like, whoops.
Damn.
I hit the game because I wanted to buy it. And then what a coincidence. It had to be him who found it. It had to be him who bought it.
If you go online right now, that motherfucker's expensive. It's like, how far up did it go?
$50, $50, $60.
No, higher than that too. I've seen it.
Yeah,
if it's
I'm
brand
talking about
sealed,
new was higher. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it depends on the condition.
Crazy. Yeah. All of the games are ridiculous new.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Well, I guess it's time for my number 4.
Yeah. Nice story though.
No, yeah, I had to do
it. Side lore for Redgrave.
Yeah, right.
My number 4, I had to think about this because it was originally higher on my list. But after all these days, because we planned this for a couple of days, rethinking, resetting everything, I had to bring it from number 2. I brought it down to number 4. So,
fire along.
Resident Evil 7.
Ooh.
I originally had it higher on the list, but I had to bring it down. I brought it down to 4 because there was another game I decided to put higher than it. But Resident Evil 7, like, let's be honest, Resident Evil 7 is the one that saved the franchise. Before RE7, Resident Evil was just going like downhill. With Umbrella Corps, RE6 was
that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
RE7 is the one that brought the franchise back to horror, back to what it used to be. And then after that, we follow up with the Resident Evil 2, 3, which have somewhat, followed the horror scheme ever since. RE7 is the one that brought it back. Without RE7, because you were talking about how the original started the whole thing, but without RE7, we might not be back at this horror time that we are again. We might have still been in the action shit that was going on. RE7 is scary as hell. It's fun as hell. It has good bosses because Jack is a great boss. Marguerite was fun. The ending boss was ass, but then if you play Not a Hero and End of Zoe, which I did for the first time 2 days ago, they end the story of 7 a lot better than the main game did, and they're directly continuing the game, so you should play it without question. It brought back old school inventory. Like I said, it was scary as fuck. Like that game was scary as hell, and that's what
Resident Evil. I got the chance to play it on VR, Brian. It is much scarier in VR. Like it's fucking fuck, dude. It's the best description.
What helped was the fact that game, even though it's part of the canon, is number 7 in the main line. It also helped that it distanced itself somewhat from everything else, because like Gabe had said the other day, Resident Evil was kind of going off the rails, so they chose a brand new protagonist, brand new enemies with the molded, brand new everything. To a degree, if it weren't for Chris showing up at the end, it would almost feel like its own thing separately. If it weren't for Chris showing up at the end, and that actually helped for its benefit because it added to the creepy factor. The fact that Ethan is a fucking nobody. He's just you and me. Where he's not Punching Boulder Chris or anything. He's a normal, regular dude.
He's a guy that just got caught in a bad situation.
Like, what I do, what this guy is doing, absolutely not.
He got caught in a bad situation.
That's why Resident Evil 7 is on my top 5 at number 4.
No, hold on though. I have to ask: do you think he's a better protagonist than Chris? Because to be honest, they're making Chris out to be a villain now.
No,
we don't know.
That's what the trailers are meant to do. I don't think that's what's gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen. That's just the trailers
in the face.
They're trying to get intrigue for Village, and it's like, oh fuck, like what the fuck, like.
Look,
no, I don't
Ash,
think so.
Don't cast that doubt in this room, because I'm severely disappointed in Last of Us 2. And I don't want to see something happen to somebody who's been with the franchise since the very fucking beginning. So let's just call a spade and say Chris has his reasons for executing that stupid bitch who used to be a mutant and then was cured some kind of way. Understand?
You know what? That's fair, Gabe, but damn, man.
For the record, on a future notice, one day we should do a Last of Us discussion. For another day.
Brian, that one's definitely going to be rated R.
That's fine. That's for another day. So
we don't want to have that fucking conversation ever. We don't ever want to have that conversation. We're not even going to have that track.
We're getting sidetracked.
Yeah, we'll move on. Yeah, next subject.
All right. Ashe and Victor starts. So Gabe, how about you start us with number 3?
Okay. All right. This one, number 3 was an easy pick for me. It was Resident Evil 7 for most of the obvious reasons. All right. At first, I was skeptical. I didn't even want to go anywhere near it. I couldn't think of a Resident Evil game. Yes, for years. I couldn't think of a Resident Evil game I wanted to see in first person. They tried that shit with Code Veronica as a mini game. I mean, I guess it was okay.
And Resident Evil Survivor.
Yeah, I was about to just say the same thing. Survivor sucked.
I mean, they tried a couple of avenues that way, and they were fails epically. When I played this, for the same reasons that Brian explained about his number 4, the fear factor was there, and I really appreciated the scare factor. I like the jump scares of the Resident Evil remake, which ended up there's so many different ways to explain that shit. I don't want to go probably chop people's list up, but 7 surprised me in many ways. The block feature was actually pretty okay. The side quest, the Not a Hero, was actually all right. I don't know about that Chris though. That model Chris was so wimpy looking. You go from boulder punching Chris to whatever that was.
He stopped going to the gym.
He's off steroids.
Yeah, they de-inflated him like fucking. They took the bane juice out of him. Just
The bait.
fucking pulled the
No more
shit.
venom.
Just pulled the shit right out of his neck. Watch him shrivel up.
The
I agree.
And
That
red hair,
volunteer
and gave him red hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, some
and a
Nice.
cool
wild,
helmet
wilding out.
in
Yeah,
VR.
yeah.
It looks amazing.
Fucking weird
That was a
shit.
cool helmet thing.
But
that he had.
yeah, the fucking I can't even imagine. Like initially when I first played that shit, it became addicting when I started like fucking running into the people randomly in the house and fucking people throwing shit like fucking knocking me through the fucking walls and shit like that. Like I loved it. I that was an experience, and that's it's worthy to be on any list, any top 5
Yeah,
list.
yeah, and
That
with
experience.
Jack,
If you're a survival horror junkie like me, that's going to be on your list somewhere.
yeah,
Has
like
to
you know
be. And
how terrified I was playing the game, and Jack is following you through the house.
Right, I'm expecting 8 to be more of the same. Again, I'm
I hope.
I'm really feeling a little weird because now we're going into all the basic movie monster lore. Look, man, come on. This started all from viral experiments.
You
Let's go.
to look at the interviews and what the
We'll wait for
creators
8
have
to be
said.
out, and then we'll just make our own decisions from there.
Yeah,
Look, they've said
but
that it's gonna fit neatly into the Resident Evil lore.
Call Van
They're
Helsing.
not going. They're
8-foot
gonna.
tall feminine
Fuck,
vampires. Come on.
She's not
Call
8
Van
feet tall.
Helsing.
She's 9 feet tall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's not.
she's taller than
That's
Mr.
huge.
X.
Nemesis
fuck
from
me.
Mr. X.
Oh, fuck me.
All right, man, come on.
You do
Give him a
understand
break.
she's taller than Paul White, right?
Yeah,
Well, she's taller than Mr. X and the Nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
but she can't be stronger. I guarantee you, she's not stronger.
She's a vampire, so she might be.
I doubt it. She's a biological
people ready?
vampire. I guarantee you.
Come
No,
on.
no.
We're talking
this is my
about Resident
prediction.
Evil and vampires in the same fucking sentence. See what I mean? Do you see what I
Look,
mean?
Dude, we
See what
had
I mean?
monsters like the fucking Nosferatu and fucking Code Veronica, of all fucking things, and Resident Evil 0. Their fucking villain didn't exactly take himself too seriously either, with his fucking control of the leeches and the
still resemble zombies.
Come on, man! But come on,
These things got intelligence. I mean, they would 6 introduced us to zombies that shoot guns.
That was 5.
Yeah, that was technically 5.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, that was really 4 because of Las Plagas.
Yeah,
you know, and then
they were zombies.
Yeah,
though.
correction, mother. No.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, like,
well,
the
we
ones
play
in the
it,
village,
then we'll know.
they were more zombie like in the swamps. They were more zombie like than the actual villagers.
Yeah, because they were actually being infected by other stuff besides.
Right. They look the part.
Yeah, no, there was something else
like Ebola zombies
them as well. Yeah, because remember, right in that area was the Umbrella Labs. The old Umbrella Labs were down there, and freaking progenitor
Tricell and all that shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
William.
That's why. Yeah,
William, go ahead. Number 3.
Number 3. Well, since we're already talking about this genre of strange zombies, Resident Evil 4. Yeah, I mean, Resident Evil 4 is one of my favorites still. There was the first one to bring the over-the-shoulder camera, for the aiming and all that. I thought the Las Plagas thing was awesome. And of course, since I understood Spanish, what those villagers were saying to you was fucking vile. They're like, detrás de ti, cabrón. And I'm like, what?
Coolest design for Leon as well, in my opinion, to this day still.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree too. Although number 6 definitely did pretty good with it. I like the 5 o'clock shadow they gave him. That was cool.
So what was your favorite part about number 4?
I mean, very easily the village. I mean, just that entire section of the game was fucking amazing, top to bottom. When you got to the castle, I will admit it gets a little sloggy, and the puzzles are a little weird. Because it was the first game to like include like jumping. It was weird. You had to jump in those fucking platforms with the statues and all that weird ass shit. But it was awesome. And then the ending of the game was perfect. Ada being in it and screwing with you and them revealing that it was Wesker behind all of it really tied things up really nice and tight, and it was
Mm-hmm.
fucking amazing. I love Resident Evil 4, and the weapons. The way that they had the cache box. How they're doing in Resident Evil 8 as well. I don't know if you've been looking at any of that, but I have. Again, that's what the system they're going to use, like Resident Evil 4. There's also going to be a merchant in the game.
Yep,
The same way. Yeah, so these factors were pretty cool, and the fact that you could, after you had infinite ammo, you could be a douchebag and just shoot all the merchants too. You were like, no witnesses, bang. you know,
Literally.
Everybody did it. Every single person did it.
Yeah,
So
I know I killed them the first time I
yeah,
played it.
exactly. You killed him too.
I
No
stopped.
witnesses.
Afterwards, I stopped though. But yeah, the first time I'm like, yeah, wait, I can kill this dude.
What the hell?
All right, Victor, number 3.
I gotta agree with Ash. Resident Evil 4. That's my number 3. Everything he said, all valid points.
Thank
no doubt
you.
about it. Resident
Thank
Evil
you very
4.
much.
Really loved
Which I might as well continue. My number 3, Resident Evil 4.
it.
Yeah.
It used to be a number 1. It used to be a number 1, but it's been bumped down to number 3. As time happens, you play games, more keep coming out, and the list just keeps on changing.
Bro, when I bought that Resident Evil 4, they gave me this little book that sums up 2, 3, and 4.
Looks pretty nice.
Yes, I kept it in great condition.
How much you want for it?
That's not going anywhere, bro.
That's not going nowhere.
That's not going nowhere. Look,
It's
it came
Leon,
with it.
yo, you ain't getting that.
I know.
Yo.
I mean,
That was
I'm
before
just
you were
asking.
officially
I
Mr.
gotta
Steel.
try. Look, you gotta let me at least try. All right,
Listen,
I
it's
try.
also number 3 for me for everything you guys. Oh wait, there's more.
Yeah,
Which one I get?
I
Sound
still
like an
kept it.
infomercial.
Yeah, I kept it still wrapped up and everything. Like,
I had that shit. I lost all that shit. I had the
oh yeah, that's
back
a heartbreaking
before.
story, babe.
Yeah, I lost all that shit, bro.
But yeah, RE4 is my number 3 for everything Ash said as well. But there was one thing 4 did that it's even though 5 and 6 followed in the footsteps of gameplay, there's one thing about 4 that worked that 5 and 6 completely failed at. 4 brought the over the shoulder, but it was still a scary game.
Yeah.
The music, the enemies, it was still horror. Despite the action that was brought in, it was still horror.
It was a perfect match.
5 and 6 took the gameplay of 4, but everything else just threw it out the window and focused on the action and just completely dropped the horror.
One of my
do
favorite
Why
scenes.
4 works, but 5 and 6 to me, not that they're bad necessarily, but in comparison, they didn't work.
One of my favorite scenes is when Chris tries to, Leon tries to spin kick the chief, and he catches his foot and tosses him.
God.
And throws his ass like a
Favorite
bitch.
scene. One of the favorite scenes, my favorite scenes in that whole game is that one right there.
You want to know what
And
my
I
favorite
agree
scene
with
was?
that. The village, the whole opening time is amazing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree that when you got to the castle, the game somewhat takes a little dip because the whole change from the village to there, it didn't feel as scary to me as, just normal looking guys are just fucking going after you. That's what made it scary. The first time out, these villagers look normal. They don't look like zombies. You don't know what the fuck is going on. They're talking in Spanish. Like, and then as the game goes on, it starts introducing. They start transforming, shit coming out of their heads. It kind of
I did like
around the end,
in the castle.
But then the ending, the final boss. Oh, that was cool. And then, but what was the little midget's name? Salazar. He was ridiculous though. He was
Salazar,
absolutely
yeah.
yeah. He was absolutely ridiculous though.
Yeah. Listen, in the
And
castle, Brian, when they're like, morir es vivir,
Yeah,
morir es vivir. Yo, that shit was fucking weird. The first time I heard that, I was like, yo, what's happening? Who the
what's
fuck is
crazy
saying
is
that?
that's getting remade over Code Veronica, which is I don't understand why that one has to get remade first over Code Veronica.
I don't
I
think
agree
They
with
got an
you.
Resident Evil
actor to
4
do it.
needs
I
a
agree
remake
with you.
yet.
Because they got the actor to do it. That's why.
And then Resident
Yeah,
Evil
but
4 is my God, it's an
it still
HD.
plays great. It still plays great.
Yeah, I
Sure.
was just
Could
playing
they
that.
update it? Absolutely. Could they change it a bit? Yes. For example, you can't fucking walk and shoot at the same time. That's
Yeah,
a
it's
big
still
problem for today.
Huge problem.
But it's still, for
I
the
mean,
most
but
part, the gameplay holds perfect. Code Veronica still has the tank controls, which is kind of what we're moving away from. 2, 3 got remade. Now, away from the tank controls, Code Veronica should have been the next game. It should have not have been 4.
I agree with
hold
you.
on. And listen, not for nothing, Brian. Do you mind if I start number 2?
Well, Gabe
Yeah,
didn't
go
even
ahead.
go yet. Gabe didn't pick his three.
I thought he did.
No.
No,
Oh, go ahead. I want to hear this. He gave us a good one
Yeah, I
last
did.
time.
You did? Which
I
one?
did pick 3. I put
Already
seven.
7.
Seven.
Already
Oh
7.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, he said
Oh, that's
7.
right.
Yeah,
You
that's
did. I'm
right.
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then
7.
the three of us went from 4 to 4 to 4.
Yeah, exactly. We got stuck talking about Resident Evil 4.
Go ahead.
Well, anyway,
Number
look,
2.
my number 2 is Code Veronica, and
Which
there's a
one?
very well, I like the PlayStation version.
No, Code
That's the one
Veronica.
that's the one. Yeah, you know that the PlayStation 2. You know, uh, I love that game. I think it has one of the best fucking stories in the entire game series. I mean, it's fucking fluid as fuck. Wesker looks cool. Everything looks cool. It's scary as hell. The Nosferatu was fucking weird as hell for a Resident Evil enemy. I mean, with the fucking tentacles and all that fucking weird shit, weird moving, and that was weird. It was like Silent Hill, really, you know, and it met Resident Evil right there, and I thought the game was amazing. And I love putting a bullet in that little bitch. You know exactly who I'm talking about.
You do know there's a Code Veronica too, but it's more of I think it's a railgun game. Only in Japan.
I heard about it. I heard.
I
Only in
have
Japan.
heard about it. I
I've
never
never
played
It
it.
played
never
that
made
shit,
it.
but I've heard about it.
Only in Japan and never made it stateside. And if you try to find it on eBay, you're gonna have to pry your wallet way open because they're asking for a king's ransom for it. So
I'm good on that. I have seen gameplay of it. However, it does look pretty cool. However, I
I hope
because I
Gabe
haven't
didn't
played
leave
it,
us
I
just to go
can't
to
say
eBay and
anything.
check that out.
Yeah, right.
I hope that's not why he left. Because the moment you said eBay, he fucking immediately looked over here like weird, like, yeah, I gotta check this shit out. Like, there he is. He's back.
Yeah, there was some glitch in the Matrix.
A glitch in the Matrix.
We
Yeah,
thought
some
you went to
Matrix
eBay to check this
But
shit
yeah,
out.
Fuck
listen,
Ava.
Code Veronica also had, in my opinion, one of the worst control schemes, but it absolutely did not take away from the game, and that's what I loved. It made you feel vulnerable, and that's what I don't like about it. Like, you know, when you stand and shoot, like she turns really fucking funky and shit, you know, and it's hard.
I'm not gonna lie. When this game launched on the Dreamcast, I was tight because I only had a PS2, and I was really disappointed. I couldn't
That's
believe
fun.
it. 'Cause I didn't have a Dreamcast, so I was like, "Oh my god, I was missing out
That's,
on a great Resident Evil game."
yeah,
But
that game is
luckily,
fucking
it
amazing.
got ported to the PS2 and to the GameCube. Gabe, good looking out on that. I give you that's my second shout out to you, and I was
Yeah,
able
can
to
we
play
say
with
rest in peace, Steve? Man, Steve really got fucked in that story,
Oh,
yo.
yeah.
Yeah, oh
Yeah,
my god.
man.
He really got
That was a
fucked.
that was a heartbreaker.
Heavy.
That was a heartbreaker.
It really was. It really fucking
He
was,
was
yo. That shit was harsh.
he started off a little, but he grew onto you.
He grows
Yeah,
onto you.
right. Yeah, he definitely
about,
grew.
You talking about Corey Feldman? Yeah, that's who he looked like. Yeah, fucking Corey Feldman.
I thought he looked like Carrot Top
from Lost Boys.
That fucking... What the fuck?
Well, I'm gonna go.
In any way, I'll stake you without thinking twice about it. Remember that shit.
All right, my number 2 is the Resident Evil 1 remake on the GameCube.
Nice.
That's the game I swapped with 4 because the more I thought about it, the remake of 1 is scary as hell. It's, I would say, one of the scariest games in the franchise. Still, all these years later. Jill, Chris. I mean, I always play with Jill more. Sorry, Chris fans. But yeah, sorry. But I fucking love
it's okay. I'll take the 2 spots less than Jill. Fuck her.
Oh, you
get a
Chris?
Knife. I do play with Chris, yeah.
Yeah, no, both characters are great. Like I said, the game to me is still to this day one of the scariest one. The story is great. If you don't know nothing about Resident Evil, the Wesker thing might even throw you off at the end. If you've never heard of anything Resident Evil related, you might not even see it coming.
The way they did it in that game, that was awesome.
Have you guys played Umbrella Chronicles?
Yes, Umbrella Chronicles was fucking amazing. I completely destroyed that on PS3. Like both of them actually.
Yeah, isn't Umbrella?
Yeah, it's Umbrella Chronicles.
Umbrella and then Dark Side Chronicles.
Yeah, Dark Side Chronicles has
Wesker right after that, right? When he gets killed. Well, oops, spoilers for people who never played it. But you know when he resurrects again and you continue the game with him, which is pretty.
Yeah, that's what was good about those. Even though it was like a fast recap of the games, it did have like new shit in between some of the stuff.
You remember Jack Krauser in Resident Evil 4? That douchebag with the fucking arm? Well, yeah, he's in Dark Side Chronicles. Yeah. He was in Dark Side Chronicles. That's how him and Leon knew each other. And they explained it in there, which was super cool. And that mission was hard as fuck. Like crazy.
Victor?
Well, number two. Resident Evil 2. The remake. Yes. This one, my friend. Loved it. That game is beautiful. Well executed. Loved Mr. X the way he was in this one. Way an improvement over the original Resident Evil 2.
He stole the show in that game.
He really did stole the show because he was just once you hear those footsteps, you're like, oh God, he's coming.
Yeah, you start booking it. You immediately
start booking like Ashe, and you start booking it. Whenever I hear like, oh shit, that sounds like he's really close. You walk out the door, fuck that, I'm going back.
Yo, you go right to the fucking save box until he goes away.
Where you can shoot the zombies everywhere, their limbs come off. Like that game was.
I want to say that game is not just like that's your number 2 one up, but that game was a perfect example of how do you remake a game.
Yes,
without a doubt, that's how you remake. The
that's
remake
not a remake. That's a re-envisioning.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's more of a re-envisioning.
It's a re-envisioning. That's not a remake. That game is identical to the original one, but it's more aesthetic for the viewer. Like
yeah. It's not like the remake of 1 where it was everything brand new, but it was still the same game.
Yeah, I mean,
they reinvented the wheel with that one.
Yeah,
I did like the RE1
re-envisioned
remake though a little bit better, just because it was way scarier.
Spoiler.
Well, no.
All right, my number 2. All right, so for different reasons, apparently we talked about this game in length for everybody's 3 and 4. But Resident Evil 4 is my number 2. Why is it my number 2? Because for all the same reasons you guys said, but more for me as a Leon fan, I played the shit because honorable mention, Resident Evil 2, the original, is not on my top 5 list. It would have been, but now it became an honorable mention.
Oh,
I will mention this why. I will tell you why, and I'm going to explain why. Resident Evil 2, I beat the fucking living piss out of that game. Victor remembers I was chasing the legendary Akuma. Fucking
yes.
I was chasing that shit.
I think they said when you had to beat the game 5 times in a row under 2 hours or something like that. I tried it.
The fastest I ever beat Leon B scenario 2 hours flat.
Yes, I've heard of the Akuma cheat. I've heard of it.
Nothing happened. I was so mad. Oh my god, I was so mad.
You ain't the only one. I tried for that. I was trying and trying.
Beat the piss out of that game. Unlock every goddamn gun. Got every damn grade.
Yeah. I heard.
Even found shortcuts to map the fucking boards even faster than we originally did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beat the living piss out of that game. But
that was just a rumor.
The reason why it was a rumor, we debunked it. It was long debunked. But it really gave Leon his time to shine. He had to balance out in Resident Evil 2. He had to balance out his stardom with Claire and Ada because people fell in love with Ada immediately. I certainly did.
I'm part of that group.
Yeah, immediately.
Me three.
Guilty.
Mysterious.
So everyone in the room.
All that stuff. But yeah, that was my number 2 is Resident Evil 4. I played the shit out, beat the fucking piss, beat the shit out of that. The mercenary mode in that is good to me because there's other games that the mercenary mode is good for, but Hunk was exclusive to 4. He's not featured in any. He's not
Fourth
featured,
Survivor is what that was called.
In any mercenary game, he's not featured in any other mercenary game and any other Resident Evil game.
That's actually
for those who are Hunk fans.
I myself, I'll be honest, did not even notice.
Really?
Yeah.
I never noticed that.
My favorite
you never noticed that?
Victor knows. Not maybe a month ago, I recently picked Resident Evil 4 up again to fucking finish the rest of the challenges that I had in that game. Fucking beat the living shit out of mercenary mode with Hunk. Like I 5-starred every damn map.
Well, remember Hunk's in Revelations.
Every map,
Brian.
Yeah, he is, and so is Wesker, by the way, and they're fucking amazing, both of them.
So number 2 is RE4, and your honorable mention is Resident Evil 2, correct?
Yes, that's
we already did a number 2. So Victor, what is your honorable mention?
Well, Gabe spoke about it, so he surprised me with it. I'll go with Outbreak number 1.
Oh my god!
Yes, I loved Outbreak number 1. Imagine there was no headset.
He's shoving it in your face, Brian.
Somebody I had to call people on the phone and ask where you were.
Brian, he put it right in the camera.
I had to be ghetto and call people on the phone just to find out what room they're in so I could meet up with them and we try to beat the game online. That game is truly fun. That's the game they need to remake is Outbreak. To me, it'll probably be the funnest co-op game to play.
That's the game I played, liked, and then I wanted to get part 2, but G decided to get it first.
And yes, I be in it, and I've also became a zombie online and attacked my own friends because I've asked them, where were you? And, they'd be like, I was here. I would go right to them and kill them. Dave, remember the one weapon? The broom?
Yeah, just push.
That broom was used for shit. Yeah, push the zombies away.
Especially with no coming at
awesome.
you. You can literally give it a push and then push the whole wave of fucking zombies back. The whole wave of zombies.
But that's my honorable mention. Outbreak.
Ashe, honorable mention.
My honorable mention. Resident Evil 1, the original, the director's cut. Gabe did speak.
Wow.
Yeah. He talked about it, and I love the director's cut because I know the voice acting was horrible. Like we all have
Jill Sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. Jill sandwiches. Terrible. But we would not be talking about Resident Evil, if it wasn't for that game, and it was amazing. I personally enjoyed the live action cutscenes. that was cool. Like with the dogs and the whole thing when they found the arm and they pulled it up in the camera, that looked cool. You know, it's Resident Evil 1. Like it's the shit. You can't go wrong with that.
I thought you were gonna say Deadly Silence for the DS.
Yes, you had it.
Which is technically Resident Evil 1, but I think the movie scene in that one, you actually see the zombie's head, Kenneth's head, roll by.
You know what? I like the Deadly Silence. The thing is, it was fucking hard on the DS, yo. Like,
yeah,
it was really
some of the puzzles are like, huh?
Oh my god, yeah, dude, they fucking changed everything, and I'm like, what is happening, dude? Yeah. I was so frustrated for a little bit there. And that version was hard, like ultra hard. But that's the reason I didn't say it as an honorable mention. It's because that version was that's for pros. That's for the ones that want to punish themselves. That
Resident Evil is tough on the DS. It really is.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh yeah.
I've never played that one.
Brian, I'm going to be honest. Unless you want to go through a Revelations 1 situation where you die 50 times in the final boss and everything,
Let me stop you right there. Okay. Resident Evil Revelations 1 is my honorable mention. Which Victor knows a lot because me and Victor have been playing the shit out of it for the past whole year on raid mode. Yeah. Before Resident Evil 7, Revelations, the game that attempted, and it kind of succeeded, but not as much as RE7, to try to bring back the franchise a little bit back to horror. It still had the gameplay of like 5 and 6, but it treated it a little bit more like 4. I love the setting. I love the fact that it's on the ship. The enemy, the ooze, whatever you want to call them, they're creative. I like them. There's some hard as fuck enemies in there, like the guy with the fucking sword and shield. Fuck him.
Skaghead.
He's fucking hard as fuck.
The Skaghead. Don't get me started on the Skaghead. Like that game is the game. Like Norman. It's funny because that game came out.
For me, it was year. Norman. Norman is the fucking worst. I hate Norman.
The same year as RE6 and Operation Raccoon City, which Operation Raccoon City was close to being my honorable mention, but I had to give it to Revelations because it brought it was like the one game that was horror during the action era of RE games.
It was really good.
And it had some scary moments. Shadow Norman. No, not even Shadow. I'm so traumatized. Norman. Shadow Norman's raid mode. Norman, hard as fuck. On Infernal difficulty, I was there like 3 fucking hours to kill this guy. I don't think I've ever struggled on an RE final boss as much as I struggled on this dickhead. Like,
fun fact, I was actually booted and banned for 3 days from the Nintendo chat for cursing out Norman.
You told me about that. The Nintendo, what was it called? The Nintendo Network, some shit like that. Yeah, it was like their Facebook.
Yeah, straight up.
No, and the gameplay was fun. It brought back Jill. It brought back Chris. It has some new characters like Jessica Parker, which I really did like. I thought they were good characters. Especially, I really did like Parker. Like I said, the setting, some of the bosses were cool. Yeah, it was the one Resident Evil game that was still horror during that action craze part of Resident Evil before RE7 really brought us back. It was the glimmer of hope.
Fuck Norman. Fuck him. Fuck Norman.
That's why Revelations.
That fucking Magnum eating bullet piece of shit. I hate him. I hate him so much.
The moment of truth. Gabe, number 1.
Well, I'll go first. Number 1, Resident Evil 2, the remake. Wow. The re-envision. Easy. Real easy. It took everything that I loved about Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 still is my all-time favorite Resident Evil game, hands down, still to this day. But the remake was exactly what I had hoped it was going to be, for a remake for the greatest Resident Evil ever. 2 is always going to be the greatest of all time because of what it stood for, how it got there, and the reason that all the improvements that it took from, which was not a badly gamed out Resident Evil director's cut, was actually okay. It was an okay game. You look back at it now, it probably doesn't really measure up when you think about it. But it took all the mechanics of that game and just amplified it. The graphics were great. The blood schemes, the body parts falling off the zombies before they die.
Yes, the
was
body
all-
parts will fall.
The
If you
fact
shot
that you
Yes.
could beat the
the arms will
entire
fall.
game with a knife.
Yes,
And,
before
I
they
actually
die.
beat the whole game with a knife. That shit was super easy.
Gosh.
Super easy. They
Well-
made that game so fucking awesome.
I
If
told
it was,
you the knife was
if there was
overpowered.
ever a 5-star
It was.
profession
It is.
for a
It is.
remake,
It is overpowered as hell.
my number one is Resident Evil 2, the remake.
So
It's going to be there for a very long time. If 8 impresses me in some kind of strange way, it might take that place. But until then, GOAT is the remake Resident
and
Evil
I'm
2.
gonna join you. That is my number one. That is my number one.
That's it.
The Resident Evil 2 remake.
That's
For
it.
everything you said. And it is exactly what I wanted as well. I wanted the remake. Me and Victor used to talk about this all the time. Like, it took the over the shoulder camera. Like, it brought that type of gameplay. It was fucking scary. It was scary. Mr. X will go down as one of the greatest enemies in video games.
They're
because
purple
of the
zombies.
remake.
Them purple zombies are creepy.
Hold on, Mr. X was cool in the original too, though.
Yeah, he's nothing to what he is now. Nothing
Shit,
at all.
fuck no. Hell no,
I
scary.
agree, but
Yo, him
Yeah.
chasing you throughout the
Yeah,
fucking.
the original,
Yo,
yeah, he was
man.
good. But this one made him a star. Like, he will forever be
Absolutely.
remembered in video game history because of how he is here.
I do agree.
He
I do
is
agree with that.
relentless. He does not stop. He does not give two
Brad,
shits.
I platinumed the game too. Relax.
He goes
I
after
know.
you nonstop. It made the game fantastic. He added that element of horror because not only were the zombies scary, not only were the jump scares scary, but he just took the scare factor completely up. Boom.
He gave the game the oh fuck
The
factor.
music, the new music was great, and the fact that you could play with the original music was even fucking doper.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of outfits that you have, the two scenarios, everything, like, it just felt fantastic. Is exactly what I wanted. And like I said, by comparison, like I said, the remake of 3 is on my top 5 and number 5, but there is a reason why this is number 1 and that's number 5. Because even though the remake of 3 I loved, they didn't have original music. The zombie part no longer fell off. The Nemesis was no longer like the Nemesis. I guess I would assume they did that not to make him too much like Mr. X, even though technically Mr. X is not like the original Nemesis, if anything. But that is why he's number 1. I love it. I don't think it will ever be top. I don't think so. Victor knows, especially Victor, because me and him were going back on that game at the same time.
That's a hard sell. Something to beat that out. That's hard.
It's hard to top that game. And it for a long time, number 4 was number 1 for a long time. And then that got bumped down to number 3. But this game, and it's not a coincidence that both RE4 and 2, which are some of the greatest games, both star Leon S. Kennedy, by the way.
The Leon Muncher.
Leon is my favorite Resident Evil character and will always be my favorite Resident Evil character.
My favorite will always be Hunk, Mr. Death.
So that's all the reasons why the remake of 2, and I'm pretty sure there's more, and I just can't remember right now.
Yeah, there's
I'm pretty sure there's a lot more. But that's how you remake a game, or like Gabe said, you reimagine a game.
Oh,
That
shit.
is the perfect example of how to remake a game. And when other games get remake, is the game I'm gonna compare to. If Capcom did this, why couldn't these guys do this? It's just forever gonna have.
That's right. They set the bar for remakes very high.
Very
with
high.
That one. Very
And
high.
it's funny
with that
because
one.
if you look at my number 1, number 2, they're both remakes. The remake of 1 and the remake of 2. And it shows Capcom knows how to make games without question.
I do agree with that. I agree with that.
So, Ashe, number 1. Whoa, I muted you by accident. Number 1.
Woofed. Well, I have to say, this is probably going to surprise you a little bit, but Resident Evil 3, the original, for PlayStation 1. I beat the living shit out of that. I mean, the first Mercenaries, I thought it was amazing. I beat it with everybody, Mikhail, Carlos, and Nikolai, and I had A rank with all of them, and I had all the fucking money, bro, on hard and everything. I unlocked everything. That game was amazing. I love the Nemesis. I love the music. It was terrifying. The guns were awesome. The fact that you could pick up stuff off of the Nemesis if you were able to kill him was cool. You know, everything was awesome. The game was the best, and that
I
is
remember.
still
I remember
going
you
to be
playing
the
the
best
challenge.
Resident Evil.
I remember.
Yeah, yeah. I destroyed that game completely to the
I'm not
touch.
gonna say I'm not surprised by that. I expected something like that from you. I remember you playing that game a whole lot.
Hey,
Yeah.
I still want the competition, Gabe and Ashe, on Resident Evil 3, the original. I still want that. Because I always told you, Ashe, Gabe was real good at that one. I'm not even gonna front. It was really good.
Let's
Really good on that
do
one.
it any day. Let's get two let's get two PlayStation 2s because they're still around somewhere for like $40. We can buy two of them. We can buy two copies used on the internet somewhere.
I got
as
the
long as they
GameCube.
fucking.
I have the
GameCube one. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I have Resident Evil 3.
Well, look, listen. I never played it on the GameCube, so I'm gonna have to get used to the control.
What would that be? A time challenge? Who can beat it faster?
I mean, I don't give a damn
because
what you want to do, bro. We can do it on the Mercenaries too, bro. Any day. What's good, bro? I'm the master dodger. You'll never beat me. You'll never beat me.
I unlocked every epilogue.
Dude, I destroyed everything. I had it, Brian.
I memorized every map in and out.
Because you saw it. And Victor, you saw it too.
Don't get me involved.
Yo, let's go. Dude, any day.
I'll tell me when. I seen it myself. I remember I went over when Gabe had it on the GameCube, and he just stood there and dodged zombie after like perfectly. Like I couldn't even. If I got one dodge in, I was through the roof. After that, I get tore up. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna run or shoot.
Dude, I used to sit there and abuse the Nemesis.
Yo, if you're good, the hunters,
Carlos. Yo, Carlos is crazy with the dog.
If they swipe at you and you roll, if you roll with the handgun and you're shooting from your knee, that's like an auto fire. It's like bang, 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 bang.
Yo, believe it or not, Nikolai has one of the best time dodges in the whole fucking game. He is so underrated because all he has is a fucking handgun. But dude, you can sit there and dodge zombies and move a little, dodge zombies, move a little, dodge zombies, and just keep going and not even get fucking touched. I'm telling you, Nikolai is crazy.
It's crazy. I had originally that one as my honorable mention. Resident Evil 3, the original.
Dude, I love that game. That is, yo, stop playing with me, bro.
Victor, we're missing you.
First dodge techniques.
What's your number one?
Just remember,
it is the first time that was implemented. By the way,
without this one, there be no 2, no 3 remakes or nothing like that. This was
I put that on my number 2. I have not disregarded that game.
This is the blueprint to everything else. Because I gotta say that one is near and dear to me. Gabe,
hold on a second.
The invisible zombie. Gabe, the grenade zombie. Remember that shit?
You've seen it. I was there. I was there.
Lisa. They added Lisa, the new room.
Lisa was that game hard,
I
bro.
forget about the Crimson Heads. Like we don't even see them no more.
Operation Raccoon.
And those were some of the best zombies too. Having to burn them when they die, so they don't fucking get up.
And like I said,
headshot or burn the bodies was the only way to really.
And like I said, that game is still to me one of the scariest RE games to this day. Even now, it's still one of the scariest ones.
And I gotta say, I am gonna try to go for the platinum on that on the PS4. Like I think I'm gonna have to take up that challenge and try to go for it because that one.
You go for 1, I go for 0, and then we flip flop.
Yeah,
we flip flop.
Yeah,
dude. Listen, I'm part way there on the Resident Evil 1 remake. I just can't fucking get the under 4 hours.
Fortunately for me, I got the bundle. It's on the Xbox.
You have it on the X.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, I played on the PS4.
Yeah, I have trouble doing the under 4 hours.
The rest of my Resident Evil games are all on the PlayStation. It's only the 1, the 0, and 4 are on Xbox.
What about this Revelations 3 supposedly coming out for the Switch?
Yo,
Timed
listen.
exclusive on the Switch. Only time.
I'm gonna have to buy a Switch so I can get that game.
Rebecca's gonna be. They're saying Rebecca's gonna be
these rumors.
I heard
to be the
I
star
heard
of the
about
game.
that too.
That
I
sucks,
want
man,
to see
because I like
that.
Rebecca.
How does that
Rebecca's
suck?
amazing.
You get to play with Rebecca. How would that suck?
Because I'm not going to go out to buy a Switch just for that.
He said timed exclusive.
I am.
It's only timed. We'll get it.
Okay, I'll just wait.
It'll go
I'll
to
just
the.
wait.
I'm pretty. You just have to wait.
Yeah, I'll just
but
wait.
We'll see. What if we see Billy come back in this one? That'd be spectacular.
Dude, my heart would drop right then and there.
Don't set yourself up for disappointment.
Yeah, I know. You do know there's a guy on YouTube. I forgot who it is. He mapped out what could have happened to Billy. There's many scenarios.
I was looking at some shit like
he could have gotten hit.
Wasn't there an Easter egg about Billy?
He might have ended up dying anyway.
In the woods because of the dogs. Even if he would have made it to the city, all the zombies, like it's a hit or miss with him because he's been a ghost.
Yeah, I mean, I have a question. If he survived, he had to survive under the radar.
Go ahead.
I have a question for everybody. I'm gonna start with you, Victor.
What's up?
Obviously, we did our top 5 already, so it's not in your top 5. It doesn't even have to be in your top 10. But what's one Resident Evil game, if there is one, if there's none, just say you have none, that it has been received poorly? That doesn't necessarily mean to be the reviews have to be god awful, but poorly that you personally enjoyed.
Oh, that's a good one. Poorly, but that.
For example, Ashe had RE5 at number 5, but we all know RE5 with today's eyes is not seen as a very good RE game.
I know. I still like it.
No. That's what I'm saying. Do you have one that has not been received very well, but that you enjoyed?
I'm gonna have to go with Revelations 2.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Revelations 2. I didn't think it was a bad game. I didn't think it was
awesome.
Game. Yeah.
But he's right. The reception to that game, for one, is seen as very underwhelming for a follow-up to 1.
Yeah.
So I honestly have to go with it was not as good.
I like the episodic nature of it. That was pretty cool.
Definitely Revelations 2.
Gabe, do you have a Resident Evil game that was received poorly that you enjoyed?
6. I'm gonna put 6 on that list because only one reason I didn't like the fact that the zombies could shoot guns. I think I made that clear earlier in this. The mercenary mode for that was so fun to play. It had the action sequences, the ability to do like special combos. Like I like playing with Leon. So when he's using the dual pistol, when he's dual wielding, he's got this little special technique shit where he auto aims at everybody and it's like bang, 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 and he does some like
he
John
does
Wick.
Full cowboy, bang, bang,
he does some John Wick kind of shit. Yeah, and everybody has special shit like fucking Chris, he does like a suplex, and fucking Jake Mueller, I like playing with Jake. So 6, even though it was more of an action game,
and him, bro,
right.
Hands for every zombie.
Jake, I'd like to see him return in future games. I think he's an underutilized character. There's a lot of potential there.
I thought like the Jake Pierce arc at the end when he sacrificed his life was cool. I thought that Chris story at the end where Pierce sacrificed himself, I thought that was awesome.
That was a real tearjerker there because
I know. I was like, damn, man, what the fuck?
That definitely will go on any list of best moments in the Resident Evil franchise. That has to be in every list, without a doubt. Yeah, it was a sad moment. He had a hero's death, without a doubt.
Oh he definitely did. Because Chris was fucked.
I also favor
Chris
Helena.
Was dead, man.
I like Helena. She was a decent introductory character.
I think Helena deserved to die. In my opinion, I think she deserved to die.
No.
She helped them. I know she was being, whatever.
It's like any other movie or something. It's just
Barry helped Wesker, and he didn't deserve to die.
I mean, hold on a second. I do think Barry kind of deserved to die. He helped Wesker, but it is what it is.
Just for the
But
achievement,
but he didn't
I
do it
did
really
leave.
by choice.
I let Lisa
I know
knock
he
Barry
didn't.
off the fucking thing when you fight her I did just for the achievement. I felt good about doing it, but then you
Me
seen the
too.
zombie at the
Me
end,
too.
like when you finish the game, and you're like, oh, that's Barry. You know that's Barry. That's the Barry
Yeah.
zombie.
I shot
Ash,
him in the face with a magnum.
your turn, Ash. What's one Resident Evil game that was poorly received that you enjoyed? We have
Um,
Revelations 2 and 6. What's yours? You can
I mean,
agree with either one.
I clearly said Dead Aim already earlier, but I'll give you another one. Operation Raccoon City. Man,
that's
I
a good one.
mean, listen, that game was
That's
poorly
fun. That's
received
a fun
because of the
co-op
game.
game. I
It
agree with you.
is.
That is a fun co-op game.
The problem with that game is just the fucking wonky ass controls. That
Before
shit
you
is
keep
like
going,
some
for the
drunk ass
record,
dude
I
mapped
agree
out the
with you.
fucking
That would be my
yeah.
choice as well.
Yeah, no, and it's probably for exactly that reason too. Those fucking controls are retarded. Like
I
you're over
think that
here
game is very underrated. Like
fucking it is.
I really did enjoy that game a lot. I
The
like
fucking
even though it's not
the
canon, I
Birkin
like the
sections
idea
were
of it.
awesome. The fight with the Nemesis was fucking insane and hard as hell, to be honest, because it was a little broken, but it is what
Like
it is.
even though it's not canon, the idea that Umbrella was sent a team to clean all evidence and all that, like it's
That
something
sounds
that
plausible.
yes, is very understandable, something you would expect from them. So the fact that they made a game of that was it. You have to think, why didn't they do this sooner? Because it's
And
something that
technically,
should be obvious.
hold on. Listen,
And
technically, they actually did because there's plenty of files that you can find throughout the Resident Evil
I'm,
lore
I'm talking
that
about an
tie.
actual game.
No. I know that, but what I'm saying is Umbrella actually did. However, they played it out in that scenario of Operation Raccoon City. You know, as like a semi what if, but they Umbrella actually did send in a bunch of special teams. Like fucking Nikolai was working for like 3 different people. Like fuck that dude. You know, it
And
just
it's still like it's if you want to be technical, it's still the last online co-op game that you could have more than 2 people because they have 4. Everything after that, what 6 was 2 people. Revelations 1 and 2, 2 people. Is Umbrella Corps fucking sucks, but that's more of a versus game, if
Still
anything.
part of the timeline.
Yeah, that's actually part of the actual canon timeline. I don't
I know.
understand why they would do that, but yeah.
Well, there's rumors that Wesker is still alive, even after getting killed in 5. That's who
Listen,
But
the
that
buyer
would
is.
be a good thing because I would like for them to bring back Wesker.
Yeah,
Wesker's
supposedly
gonna be
he's the
See,
real fucked
Wesker,
up.
if you look at the franchise, Wesker is like the villain from the beginning who just goes from game to game behind the
And he
scenes.
has a little
But
to do
ever
with
since Wesker
everything.
was taken out of that equation, 6 and 7, and now 8 just all seem like they're split stories. They don't seem so together like when Wesker was the one behind everything.
Maybe that's why Chris is going rogue. Maybe he's
I
going
mean,
after Wesker.
like for the record, like Simmons was a horrible villain for RE6.
Oh my
Fucking trash.
god, yeah, he was. I
And then to
very
follow
much
Wesker and his
enjoyed killing him.
transformation into that fucking looking dinosaur shit and a fly. Like, did they run out of ideas for the enemies? Like, is that really the best they could have done?
I enjoyed killing that whore. He was a piece of
I
shit.
would feel better reintroducing Wesker into the series if they wouldn't have left that humongous plot hole of him dying inside a fucking volcano.
That's
He
what I
had
said.
the
That's why
oral.
in the
Hold
Umbrella
on.
Corps.
They could literally do whatever they want, though. This is a game. Like, they could come up with some fucking crazy ass excuse.
Ouroboros
Damn,
bonded
what happened to
with his
kayfabe?
body. He could regenerate from
Yeah, what happened
very
to fucking
few
kayfabe?
cells.
Yo, don't get me wrong. I'm a huge Wesker fan. Humongous Wesker fan.
It
But
could happen.
they'd have to have a
According
really great. They'd have to have a really fucking monumental explanation, like a clone or something.
That's what I'm thinking. Because you
Ouroboros.
look at it like this, he's been collecting samples since since 0. What has he
And
been doing with all these samples?
That's what
and
I'm saying.
the
When
fucking dude that he stuck his hand through. He told him he's one of like 9 Wesker clones.
Alex Wesker was one of them.
He was the sole survivor of the Wesker babies, the Wesker children.
Yeah. Only one
Albert.
survived.
Yeah, only Albert.
That's
Only
that was
Albert.
one of the things I liked about Revelations too, though. The fact that they had another Wesker, like it made sense for them to do that.
Yeah, so if they bring him back, that would have to be the explanation. There's another Wesker.
And if they're bringing him back, they have to bring Jake back into the fold as well. Let's not pretend he doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, but
Pause.
Yo, wouldn't
Hold on, let me get this in. Hold on. Ouroboros canonically regenerates cells from very few samples. Like the fucking those little worm things that it produces, they all bunch up together out of nowhere, and that's how it creates those fucking monsters. Wesker was fully bonded. Even if they blew him up, even if like a section of like his head and his arm survived, he could theoretically have regenerated and gone underground because he got his ass kicked like a fucking little bitch.
Let's, for the sake of argument, let's assume you're right. Let's say there's more than one Wesker. The Wesker that got incinerated in that volcano, lava is hotter than the surface of the sun. There's nothing, no material, no metal, nothing that can survive that kind of heat. Nothing.
Resident Evil has been shown to so pretty ridiculous.
It doesn't matter. Ouroboros or not, at that heat, nothing.
Ouroboros
or nothing.
I agree. He got blown up in a volcano. Like there's just no possible way.
There's no coming back from that.
That should have destroyed every fucking cell in his body.
Yes.
I just think if it's a clone,
look at Gohan and Cell.
I do agree the clone idea will be a more believable and better way to go. For the record,
yes, that makes more sense.
Even though we know you hate that the movies, the live action movies. The live action movies kind of did that with the Doctor, whose name I completely forgot. If Victor or Ash remembers, the guy from Game of Thrones, Victor.
I don't remember the name, but I know who you're talking about. They did clone a bunch of people.
Remember that he died in part 3, but then he was brought in at the final chapter, and it was a clone of him. And it worked in the movie for that, so I think the clone idea definitely works.
Hold on a second. I have a better idea. What if there was some sort of like recovery program? Let's say Wesker was blown into a million pieces, but they recovered some of him. Hold on. They stick him in a tube, and they actually make an actual clone from the original. That would make sense too, because Wesker had a ton of protocols for everything, because it was fucking Wesker. He had the plane.
Where are they gonna get this piece of Wesker in the lava? They're just gonna dive in there.
Look, no, it could have solidified. I don't know. I'm just saying. I wouldn't be okay with Wesker just being like some fucking tube clone. Especially with fucking Jake running around out there. Like, that would be really good.
Does anybody remember the end of Terminator 2?
Oh, yeah, with the...
Yeah, there was no coming back from that at all.
Does anybody remember that? There's no coming back from that, Ash.
A time machine? Is that going to be the next answer, like in Terminator, at the time machine? Send another Wesker.
Is it gonna look like a phone booth? Is it gonna look like a phone booth?
That would be gross. That would be super gross.
You guys.
I'm just saying, if you need any more reference than that, T2, I cannot self-terminate. You're gonna have to lower me into the lava.
I order you not to go. I order you not to go.
That's right.
I know now why you
Ash,
cry.
That's for you, Ash. I know now why you cry. It's something I can never do.
Screw you. You suck.
Game. To you.
Yes, sir.
What is the worst Resident Evil game you've ever played?
Worst that I've ever played?
Yeah. Resident Evil also has a lot of bad games. So, what is the worst Resident Evil game you've ever played?
Resident Evil cell phone game for the BlackBerry 8330.
Oh my
my
god.
god, that was
I've
fucking
never even
horrible.
fucking played that.
Yeah. Now, amazingly enough, Victor might remember that shit, but I actually had fun. It was the worst game, but I actually had fun playing that game. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't that bad for a cell phone game. I mean, look.
Who was that?
It
Does
wasn't that
anybody
bad, but yet
remember
it's the worst game you've ever
8330
played.
trackball? My god. I still love that phone, by the way. The
Ashe.
keyboard was dope.
What?
Worst Resident Evil game you ever played?
Worst Resident Evil game I've ever played. Wow. It's kind of hard since I do like them all. However,
That's right. It's hard to pick them.
Yeah, I'd have to say probably Resident Evil Survivor. Like I'm one of the few people on Earth that probably saw the ending of that game, and I'm a little ashamed to say so. But I had nothing else to play at the time. That was before I found Resident Evil 3. Okay, so cut me a break there.
I
Resident
actually
Evil
found that game at Borelli's, and I did not buy it. I regret that decision. Even though it sucks, I should have bought that game just to have it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Honorable
lie.
mention.
Look,
I like Dino Crisis, bitch. No, you can't.
Dino Crisis is
Dino
discount
Crisis.
Resident Evil.
Umbrella Corps, that's easy.
Yo, that's
Victor,
definitely a
you
Resident
stole
Evil
it from me
dinosaur.
because that is definitely my worst Resident Evil game.
I never played Umbrella Corps because of the
And
terrible
you should never.
reviews.
You should
It's a
never.
horror.
Listen, I spent $50, and after me and Victor played that first day, I never went back again, having just spent the $50 for it.
Yeah, it was
That's
bad.
all you gotta know. That's all you gotta know. $50 just down the drain. That's it.
Wow.
The gameplay was bad. Listen, the only good thing about it is since it came out before the remake of 2 and all that, we got to see an idea of how the game would look before the remake even came out, was even shown. Because they redid the maps from part 2 and all that. So it gave us glimpses of what the remakes would do, but the gameplay was ass. It was just terrible. The enemy AI was god awful. You remember, Victor? The spawn points were ridiculously bad. You would spawn, you just get fucking murdered right there. Like,
there could be two people shooting, and they'll drop you right in the middle of it, and you get blasted both ways. It's like, what the hell?
The AI was terrible. The enemies were terrible. The gameplay was bad. When you crouch, when the fucking guy crouches, it's almost like he's running like so fucking fast. Like he's faster crouching than he is actually running.
What the hell?
It was terrible. It was terrible. And then the story, first of all, the story just was written there in like paragraphs. When you read that shit, it's like it was written by a 4-year-old. Some of the dialogue, the way it was written, it is horrendous.
That's bad.
Horrendous. And you, as a writer of Metal Gear, will be offended.
Really? That bad?
Considering you wrote Metal Gear, you be offended.
Oh, here we go.
For real. My worst Resident Evil, the first Silent Hill.
You're a dick. That's how you spark controversy, bro. That game was amazing. Fuck you.
Silent
Hill was a knockoff.
Amazing.
The original Silent Hill was a knockoff from Resident Evil.
No, Silent Hill.
Not in any way.
Different enough that it's good.
Yeah.
Not in any way.
I mean, taking place in a giant fog was the hugest difference.
I love Silent Hill.
Yeah, come on, man. Don't
the original
disrespect Silent Hill like that.
Great.
So listen, of course I like Resident Evil better. But
I'm not knocking Silent Hill as being a bad game. I'm just saying it was a knockoff. At the time the Silent Hill came out, we had Resident Evil 2.
I mean,
2.
Look, I understand. I understand. I hear you.
Yeah, 2.
Oh my God, you're so angry.
Any All right, let's somewhat wrap it up. We're going off the rails into other games and conversations. Before we end it, RE8 Gabe, what are you looking forward to the most, and what is worrying you the most?
What's gonna happen to Chris? The rest of that shit don't even matter.
Okay, and what are you most excited about the game for? Like, what makes you the most excited for the game?
I want to see Chris again. So, like, all the way around,
it goes both ways. You're excited to see Chris, and you're worried about Chris.
He's just worried about Chris and his buff muscle.
I don't look. Listen, let me be fair. I don't give a shit about Ethan. I don't.
Look, he's like this. Chris. Chris.
This is the guy who put Resident Evil Dead Aim on his list of top 5s.
Yeah, listen, that game was retarded, and I admitted it. Hold on a second. Listen, I admitted that game was retarded, but it was comically
makes it questionable to take what you're saying.
Hold on a second. Listen, I explained to you why I like that game. It's not that the game was really that good. It just was funny to see the glitches in it. I liked it for that reason. Fuck you, Brian.
But to put it on a top 5, and you're saying it's not good but funny, but on your top 5,
it's seriously, it's really that fun to play because of it.
That's the point of this video.
I used to play the hell out of it, and that's before I got into like Outbreak and all that shit. I enjoyed it for that reason. I have fond memories of that game. I do. I really do, and that's why it is my number 4. Screw you. Fucking assholes. Shitting on my list.
I agree with Gabe.
Looking forward to the most in RE8.
Definitely Chris and our favorite vampire lady.
Dimitrescu.
She does look hot. She's taking the internet by storm.
Yes, she is.
There's so much porn.
At least they left her a woman, and they didn't try to pass off a transy as a girl.
And Victor, is there anything that has you worried about the game? Something that maybe you think might not work, or something that you think might be bad?
You fuck around and get.
I just gotta see how they're gonna fucking sell the werewolves to me. No, that's fucking Van Helsing's gonna come out of somewhere. That's the only thing. That's the big.
Yo, they got a guy who looks like him. He's supposed to be the merchant, motherfucker.
No, the merchant's a big fat dude. He's fucking huge.
Dude, look like Van Helsing with some steampunk goggles.
I'm excited, considering how well and how good 7 was. I'm expecting at least the game to be as good as 7. Maybe not better than 7, but at least as good as 7. But yeah, the werewolves, the vampires, possible heel turn by Chris.
Monster. They didn't do it.
I'm gonna be honest. I have absolutely no worries about Resident Evil 8. I do want to see where they take the story. This is very interesting.
Watch Wesker be Dracula and shit. They're gonna fuck my whole world up with that, yo.
Yo, that would be metal.
He's gonna come out. He's gonna be the head vampire, and he's gonna be like 12 feet tall. And the girls.
If I seen that, dude, I'm not gonna lie. I would laugh. It would comically be the best.
Oh, that's so. Like I said, the werewolves is the one thing that got me a little concerned, cause.
Yo, there's fucking giants in the game.
It makes you grow hair, fucking teeth.
But y'all gotta remember, before Resident Evil 4, 7 and 8 was gonna be originally Resident Evil 4. That's what they were playing around with.
You guys
ghost phantoms and all this type of stuff.
I mean, listen, 7 went a supernatural route, and when they announced that before the game came out, I was one of the ones that was like, "What the fuck?" Like, okay, but it worked. It worked perfectly. So
that was Resident Evil, what they call it, 3.5 before 4.
If they made it work in 7, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. I am gonna buy the game. I am gonna play the game day 1. So, and I'll see what happens, and then we can go from there. If the game sucks, it sucks. If it's great, it's great.
I think the combat looks amazing. The puzzles seem interesting from what I've seen. I've seen little bits and pieces here and there, whatever they release. It looks really good. The graphics look spectacular. I mean, you can't do it any better. If it looks like that when you play, that's it. I'm sold.
It
I mean,
will
I'm
on the
already sold. I
PS5.
pre-ordered it
Oh,
for
that's like
PS4 and PS5. I'm already
dig.
sold. What
Taking
the
a dig.
fuck?
And then the last topic we're gonna touch. Are you all excited for the
Gross, man.
multiplayer? Are you
These
excited for the
douchebags.
multiplayer? Resident Evil RE Verse.
I'm gonna be playing it at 1 a.m. before they shut down again, inevitably.
Assuming they even go up at all.
No, I'd like to play with some of my favorite characters and see how they would work in like regular combat, not killing
I'm gonna
undead
say
creatures.
this. I'm gonna say this because based on what we've seen, and we attempted to play the beta. I hope they have outfits for the character because I don't want to just play with new Chris. I want to be able to pick old Chris.
You want buff
Because if you
Chris?
look at the characters, they're all
I
the
want a
new
polygon
models. New
skin.
Leon, new Ada, new Claire. Which is okay because all of them look their part except for Chris.
Am I the only one that beat Resident Evil 2 with the polygon costumes first?
No, I'm pretty sure there's other people who've done it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
well,
world's a big place.
I'll tell you, that's how I did it. I fucking love those. Those were fucking hilarious. Watching those fucking polygons roam around and shit. That shit was great. You know, and that's the
I
thing.
beat it with the outfit. I don't remember it being the first outfit I used.
You know, you guys forget that Resident Evil has never really 100% taken itself seriously. Like, even since Resident Evil 2, the fucking tofu survivor. Everybody forgets about the fucking tofu. And Resident Evil 2 Remake expanded upon it and gave me my favorite tofu survivor, the grenade one. Dude, that dude is
It
just
was
packed to the
also
brim with
the
fucking...
least favorite played with mode. Nobody wanted to play with a big piece of tofu and a knife.
I thought that shit was amazing, and I beat the fucking shit out of it.
Of course.
I
I
love...
used Gabe's line, the guy who put that in his top 5.
of course, is also playing the Tofu Survivor. Yes. Yes, I do. I do play Tofu Survivor. Screw you. You know, I take everything
Fuck off.
Resident Evil has to offer. They've gone not serious before. Like, even in Resident Evil 4, they gave fucking Leon a gangster costume. Like,
That shit is dope.
and
What you talking about?
yeah,
he
hold
looks
on.
cool.
And then they gave the president's daughter a fucking suit of armor and a fucking bikini costume. Like, are you serious right now? They gave Claire a fucking Dino Crisis costume. Or not Claire, sorry, Jill, a Dino Crisis costume in Resident Evil 3. You know, when you use the boutique
That wasn't my
key.
favorite costume to play with, though. I played with the leather joint.
Of course, but you know the leather thing too, of course as well. You know, Resident Evil does that. It doesn't take itself 100% seriously.
Not just
And
Resident Evil. A lot of Capcom games.
That's Capcom.
That's
I mean,
true.
We can
Hey,
even go to.
Onimusha with the panda costume.
I just did it right now. Mega Man X. You could get the Hadouken from Ryu. Like,
Devil May Cry 5, the Mega Man Buster.
Yeah. I actually bought it. I bought
when
that
Nero
shit.
jumps with that gun, he literally jumps like Mega Man. When he dies,
Yeah, I know he jumps with the fucking.
Yeah, he blows up.
Yeah, that shit is awesome, bro. I love that shit.
Damn,
yeah, that's not just
great.
RE. That's all. That's Capcom. That's
Yeah,
well,
I was gonna say,
I know that.
Ash, you forgot about Dead Rising. Holy shit!
Oh my god, yeah, Dead Rising. Oh
You
my
talk
god,
about
that's
taking a
talk
zombie
about
game.
not taking itself seriously.
Yeah,
And
you
I
remember
like those
Jill
games. Those
Sandwiches
games are
is in the
fun.
Yeah,
mall?
them games are fat.
Yeah,
What you
Jill
fucking
Sandwiches
talking
is in the
about?
mall. That shit is crazy.
What
Just
you
the
talking
goofiness
about?
of it. It's just you got to put up with the goofiness. But other
You
than that, I
you
like
get the Ryu gauntlets and be doing all you can. Oh
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking
gauntlets.
the you can make a lightsaber in that shit.
Fucking a chainsaw and an axe together. You got like an axe and a chainsaw.
Yo, you remember the automatic fucking a chainsaw, the double chainsaw that you could get on the little carts and just drive around? Yeah, that shit was great.
Capcom, we love you guys.
Yes.
We love the
very much.
ridiculous shit you do.
Yeah, ridiculous shit.
Oh man, yo, and not for nothing. I don't know if any of you guys have played it, but there's a mission in Resident Evil 2, the remake, that has a cop. Um, he's stuck in the very first place that you visit, the gas
You ain't
station.
finished?
Oh,
Did you
you mean
finish that?
the ghost
Yeah.
stories?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, with the fucking cop with the thing.
Yeah, the final survival. The final survivor
Yo,
shit.
that shit was crazy.
My brother finished that shit. Corey,
That
he
shit
finished that
is
shit.
that shit is hard. It is hard as hell, but it is pretty cool, and it's like a side little story,
It's
kind
a
of like
last stand. That's a last stand mission.
yeah. And then they have another one, or like a what if, with another one of those hunk officers that takes the
Ghost.
fucking G virus. Yeah, Ghost. Yeah, the G virus
Ghost.
sample. I beat that one. The one with
Sergeant
the chick.
Ghost.
What was that? The one with the fucking mayor's daughter or whatever.
Yeah.
Bear's
She was
daughter?
almost- she was almost naked.
Yeah, she
The
was.
fucking nightgown.
Yeah, that one was hard as hell too.
Are you all
Yo, those
looking
books.
forward to? Are you looking forward to the Resident Evil series that Netflix is doing, the anime CGI one?
I am.
I really hope they do it justice like they did
Listen, the
Castlevania.
CGI movies have all been great, and they pulled off Castlevania to perfection. So
It depends on who's producing it and who the who the writers are.
Netflix, for the most part, has a good track record of making good shit. For the most part,
I'm skeptical about that shit because a lot of things is being affected by this woke culture bullshit, and I'd like to keep that out of my out of stuff that is near and dear to my heart. I'd like to keep that shit out.
Look, Resident
Absolutely.
Evil has done a really good job at keeping that stuff at bay. I will
I don't
give.
think it'll be affected by that because
I
of
No,
hope
how the
not.
franchise is. I don't
yeah,
think
I
so.
hope
no.
not.
Listen, Resident Evil has done a great job with that, and even in like the Onimusha series, they had like LGBT like characters and stuff like that,
Not
but they
worried
kept
about
it.
gay
They
characters. I'm
hold on,
talking about that being the
or
whole
like
scheme
hold
of the
on.
fucking shit. You know what I mean?
Well, but that's what I'm saying, like, or even like other societal issues, like he shot the president in the fucking face. Typically things like that would not be shown in games, but they do it in classy ways. Or Capcom has a history of doing that in a classy way, where like it
Just
doesn't
keep
really
Resident
affect
Evil in the
me.
Resident Evil universe. We don't need to
Right,
add any real life shit to it. We don't need none of that. Don't ruin a
right.
good thing.
That's what I'm saying. They do a really great job of keeping that stuff
And push
classy.
the
Mhm.
remember me or whatever, because I don't
It's
want some
Capcom.
shit punched in again.
Hey, feel free to press mute.
Yeah. Oh, what the hell was that?
I mute him. I mute him.
But yeah, no.
Yeah, dude.
Another thing I like about Capcom is they have a bad history of um making really good games and then following it up with horrible fucking games.
Well, yeah. Look
But
at 4. We went from 4, and like I said, I enjoy 5. I really do like it, but we went from 4 to 5. Like from a quality standpoint, it was a downgrade.
yeah, but they tend to learn from their mistakes after a
Speaking of
while,
which,
granted.
wait a minute. You didn't? Did you even have RE4 in your top 5?
Yeah, that was my number 3.
That was number
Yeah.
3. Okay.
Yeah, I started the whole
Okay.
fucking
I'm
train.
trying to. You know what threw me off? That Gabe. Well, no, was it Gabe? No. Yeah, it was you. It was us 3 who put it at the same spot. Okay. Yeah.
Number
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, number 3.
Yeah. I mean, it's Resident Evil 4. I mean, you can't
Yeah.
go wrong with that game
Nah,
at
nah,
all
nah.
whatsoever.
Yeah, I remember now.
I mean, it's
I
a
think,
great game.
considering we lost one of our guests, we should just end the video here.
All right, well, that's
Well,
perfect.
he's not used to saying goodbye anyway, so.
He usually just say goodbye. Me and
Yeah,
I
he
just talking
just
to him on
leaves.
the chat yesterday. He just Gabe, he's offline. I'm like, good night, Gabe.
Well, Brian, do you want to try and do some Operation Raccoon City? No? Are you done?
Work. He's got to work.
All right. Well, fair enough. I'm off your YouTube video. I hope everyone enjoyed. Goodbye.
All right, Ash.
That was fast. he might be in trouble.
Yeah.
He's like, oh shit, they don't get time. I gotta get off.
But anyways, Loco, I guess we'll talk tomorrow then.
Yep.
All
Say
right,
goodbye
then.
to the rooftop.
All right, YouTubers. Hope you enjoyed the video on Resident Evil.
All right, guys. Gabe is not here to say his goodbyes. I'll say it in his behalf and on mine. This has been Brian Redgrave, Ashe, Victor, Gabe, with our top 5 Resident Evil games, our Resident Evil discussion period, because we did top 5 and we also talked about other stuff. Hope you enjoy, like the video, subscribe if you haven't. If you have, thank you for subscribing. Comment your thoughts. Did you agree with our top 5? Do you disagree with our top 5? Let me know in the comments below. Like I said, this has been Brian Redgrave. Redgrave out.